All right, guys, about 1 minute. Thirty seconds. All right, 10 seconds. Let's roll it out. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good morning, everybody. Let's get rocking. You guys are a little stiff after the weekend. Pushing some good effort on the virtual race. You didn't do the virtual race, got some good training in. Morning, Greenwich. Thanks for being your bubbly self. There you go. All right, 5 minute. Let's get those legs moving. Drive from the knees. You might feel a little stiff. Like I said, you'll warm into it. Get some steady state work, building effort. 2 21-minute efforts where we're building throughout each 21-minute effort. We finish off with a nice little pinch the groin inch. But obviously what we're doing is working, guys. Seeing the results from the weekend. Seeing how you guys took some risks on the bike, maintained solid exertion over the course of the 30 kilometers on one tough course. For those of you guys that did it on Zwift, that wasn't an easy one. And then ran strong off the bike. And it's only February. So got a long way to go, but we're on the good things. That's why we do those check-ins, those races, just to check in, keep that competitive spirit, that competitive feel. So thanks for taking it serious, making some gains, keeping that fire stoked. Yes, happy Valentine's Day, everybody. Thank you for being on. You're my one true love. You know that. Yeah. Yeah. So you got to earn all your chocolate you're going to eat later. All those chocolate dipped strawberries. O'Driscoll feeds himself chocolate dipped strawberries just all day long. He's just chewing those strawberries. So we're going to get right into it pretty quick here. We just got a 5-minute slight build. We're going to get right into 70%, 10 minutes at 70%. Got my red water bottle for Valentine's Day. Red gels. In the spirit. All right, everybody just breathe, relax. Release any tension might have built up over the night, might have still carried over from the weekend. Might take 20 minutes, 25 minutes to get into the effort. Truly feel loose. It should be fine. Stick with it. You'll get there. Constantly read the notes and Training Peaks. I felt like crap getting on the bike, going out on the run. My first half hour of swimming. And it all came around. I had a great workout, finished strong. Because we feel like garbage at one point or another point doesn't mean we're doomed. Stick with it. We persevere. Make a good day out of it. All right, 30 seconds. We're going to bring it up to 75%. Cadence down. We'll start in the 70s, but over the course of the 10 minutes, we're going to drop it down in the 60s cadence wise. So don't drop it too low yet. Let's just drop it down slightly from most where you're at right now. 3, 2, 1. And if you're taking a little longer to warm up, you can hit that down arrow a couple times. And so slowly hit the up arrow as you warm into the effort. Because I know a lot of you guys went deep this weekend. Hey, Aronson, it's good to see you back on, buddy. There he is. So slightly slow the feet. You guys on your TT bikes, you can work in and out of that TT position. Don't have to stay there for too long. Slowly adapting to it. Let's start that correct pedaling. Make sure you're driving the knee down, dropping the heel, getting those glutes working. Relax the foot as it comes up the back of the pedal stroke. Release the hip flexor. Think about the left leg, heel dropping, knee driving down. Same thing on the right. Break it down one at a time. Left leg, 10 pedal strokes. Drive the knee, drop the heel. Right leg, same thing. So about 2.5 minutes in, slow your feet a little bit. So you're in that 65 to 70 cadence range. If you don't have cadence on your bike, let's count every time our right heel drops. Let's count it out for 10 seconds. 2, 1, go. Stop. Multiply by 6. Should be in that 65 to 70 cadence range. So now we're getting fit. It's evident by the workouts, I mean by the race. We're getting fit. You can push the effort, start to finish, run strong off the bike. Heart rate doesn't decouple off of the power. If you're set 80% heart rate, or sorry, if you're 80% power, the 80% heart rate is right aligned with it. And your ability to manipulate cadence on the bike becomes that much better as well, because you have the fitness and the strength to pull that tool out of the toolbox as needed. So I could tell you right now, okay, I want you at 62 RPM, and you're so strong and fit, you can just go right into 62. You don't have to go there. Go to 65 to 70. But I'm just saying, the fitter you are, the stronger you are, the more capable you are. You execute with precision, which makes a huge difference on race day. The tighter you can keep those watts in your goal race percentage, the better you're going to run off the bike. You're lacking a little strength, little fitness, and that wattage is all over the place, blah, 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 blah. Maybe you have a 30-watt range in your execution on race day. That's like you're getting off the bike, squatting 135 pounds, getting back on the bike. You're just putting in these big surges and dropping, surge, drop, stop, start, stop, start, stop, start. And that's what truly adds to that fatigue and that lactate buildup. So we want to be as smooth as possible, as precise as possible. And that's what I'm seeing from the data I saw over the weekend. I'm seeing that's what I saw. It's probably not the right way to say it, but oh well. All right, let's think about that left heel driving down, knee driving down, heel drops. Float the right knee up. Release the right foot. Think about how they work together. Every action is an equal and opposite relaxing. Left heel drops, right foot relaxes up. Think about them working together as I tell this story. So yesterday I went to the Kings game last night. So gifted the tickets. Get there, walk down. We're in the front row, right behind the glass, right behind the opposing goalie. So the first and third periods, the Kings were shooting at the net right in front of me, right in front of me. So I hadn't done much looking into who was playing and, the players. So teams take the ice. The opposing goalie gets in the net. And it's the guy I grew up playing with. He was my goalie all throughout high school. And I followed his career. He's the oldest player in the NHL. By now, he's played on probably 7 or 8 different teams. But the guy doesn't quit. Craig Anderson. He could have quit 10 years ago when he got dropped off the Ottawa Senators. Retired, called the career like most of the guys do. But he didn't. Put his head down, got back to work, found another team, went to Florida. There wasn't a team one year, he went to Europe, he played. Came out of that, got picked up by Buffalo, where he's at now. Still playing at 44 years old, 43, 44 years old. Playing well. He got lit up last night, but there were some garbage goals. But the perseverance, if you look outside of triathlon, what it takes to succeed in our sport, day over day, week over week, month over month, year over year, take it out of our sport, take it to something like that. A lot of talented athletes who give up on themselves way too early in a career. Maybe they don't have the passion, the motivation, the drive. That's what it takes. But if it's just the inability to accept a couple shitty results, getting cut off a team, getting released, not having the Ironman performance you want to have, and that's deterring you from going on, sticking with this as a lifestyle. I see it as a lot just giving up on yourself, just using that bump in the road as an experience, as opposed to a deterrent. All right, let's go up to 80%. Let's bring our cadence up into the 80s in 3, 2, 1. Yes, I said the 80s. Nice and light on your feet. Drive your knees. Don't worry about cadence too high. Zwift is telling you 90 to 100. We're not going there yet. Just race pace cadence. We have 5 minutes here. That's the thing about that right heel dropping as the left foot floats up. But take last night as an example for Craig. Craig Anderson was the goalie's name. Lost 5-2. 4 unanswered goals. Maybe it was even 5 until Buffalo scored 1. If you're just looking small picture and you're Craig, that's tough to deal with. You look big picture over the course of a career, that's only a blip on the radar. 5 years when he's on his 25th team. He's going to look at this 5-2 loss. He's not going to remember it. Just look at it as an experience in a lifelong career. Same as you guys. You're 85 years old on your 75th Ironman. You're going to look back to the Ironman right now that you're preparing for, or the race you're preparing for, as, yeah, an important experience in your journey, but ultimately just a progression towards what's truly possible. You guys listened to Blue Benedum last week on our team call. He made an interesting comment, and it's the same way I feel. Is he's 44 years old, and he feels his potential has not been truly reached yet. He still has more. And he's doing it for no other reason but to prove to himself that he's capable of more. And this is a guy that's run several 220 marathons, ran in the professional field in Boston. He's always striving to be better, day in and day out, not letting any excuse get in his way. All right, let's slowly, now you're loosen up. Keep those ankles relaxed, wiggle your toes, release your calf. Drive your knees. Let's slowly bring that cadence into the low 90s. Come on, guys. Oh boy, I have a spelling mistake on Zwift. I saw a note on Instagram. Emily, did you see that? Someone comes on our rides, just one of the freeloaders, was complaining about my spelling mistakes on Zwift. I said, I do that on purpose. Make sure you're listening. Make sure you're reading. Really? Someone really wrote that to us. All right, if you're having a tough time getting that cadence up, a lot of times it's because the top of the pedal stroke, there's too much stiffness over the top. Let's make sure we're floating our knees through the top, relaxing your foot as you do. And then once you get to that 10 o'clock on the left, 2 o'clock position on the right, that's where you drop the heel and drive the knee down. Let's go up to 90%. Slow your feet. 65 to 75. 2, 1. Slow your feet. Come on, guys. Bring it way down. Don't pay attention to Zwift. More resiliency here. 3 minutes, 90%. Keep your weight back in the saddle. Think about that left foot floating through the top, knee floats forward. Toes come to the front of your shoe as that left foot floats through the top. Then once you get to that 10 o'clock position, drop the heel, drive the knee down. You don't want to jam your foot through the top, then jam it down. Float it through, and then bam! I made up this term a couple of years ago. When you do something explosive, you say bam, right? Then this cook, Emile Lagasse, this guy, his chef, took it. Now every time the damn guy throws salt in the pan, he says bam. Totally stolen from me. Think about that left knee floating forward, then bam, drop the heel. Now think about the right. Float it through the top, bam, drop the heel, drive the knee down. Nice work, guys. Cadence low, 65 to 70. We got 30 seconds left here. We're going to up at the threshold in 20 seconds. Bring our cadence into the 80s again. Five seconds. 3, 2, 1. Come on, bring your cadence up. Stay seated as you do. Now left knee, right knee. Float them forward. Bam, 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 bam. Come on. George, I don't see you saying bam. Come on. Bam, 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 bam. Float it forward, drop the heel. Float it forward, drop the heel. Float it forward, drop the heel. Good. Way to combine the two. Make up a song that helps you think about how you're moving at the tempo with which you're moving. Or a mantra, you might call it. Help take your mind off the effort. Bring it back to technique. Big deep breaths, just relax. 10 seconds. We're capping this off with a minute at 110. Bring the cadence up. 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Come on, cadence up. Float it forward, drop the heel, float it forward, drop the heel, float it forward, drop the heel. Come on. You should feel that release and activation every pedal stroke. "30 seconds, hang on, guys. Cadence in the 90s. Good, relax, big deep breaths. Let's get to the line. 10. 3, 2, 1, and spin it out. Towel so close yet so far. All right, guys, spin it out. 2 minutes. All right, get your drink. You need a gel, take your gel. All right, so let's get back into it. 75% cadence. 60 to 70. 60 to 65. Coming up in 10 seconds. Bring that cadence way down. 5, 3, 2, 1. Slow your feet way down, guys. Bring it way down. Come on. Challenge yourself. The resiliency. Okay, so we've worked over the top and down the front. Let's work under and up on this next one. So every time you drop that heel, let's scrape that mud off the bottom of your shoe through the bottom of the pedal stroke. Might put a little pressure behind your knee. You feel a little pressure behind your knee as you pull under. Dropping that heel keeps those glutes engaged. And that strength and momentum coming from the glutes. So drop the heel, pull it under with a nice low cadence. You should really be able to feel the strength as you're doing it. Coming from the glutes. Let's think about the left heel pulling under. Once it gets to about 7 o'clock here, you release the foot and float it up. So think about pull under, release up. Challenge yourself, guys. Bring that cadence down. You don't have cadence on your bike. Let's count that heel pulling under, your left heel pulling under for 10 seconds. Here we go. 2, 1, go. Stop, multiply it by 6. Range should be 60 to 65. Good. Think about your left heel pulling under, foot floating up for 30 pedal strokes. Count it out to yourself. Left side. 30 pedal strokes. Let's go. Good. Over to the right. Pull that right heel under, release the foot up. 30 pedal strokes. Count it to yourself. 2, 1, let's go. Good. Now for the next minute, left foot, right foot, pull those heels under the bottom, float them up. And think, are you truly releasing those feet as they float up? Or is there any tension in that hip flexor yanking that foot up? Your truth versus reality. I don't want any tension in your hip flexor. Feel it. Is it releasing as the knee floats? Feel that flexing in there. The connection between your rectus femoris, your middle quad muscle, and your pelvis. That little connection. If you're adding stress every time you yank that pedal up, you're going to strain it and have a tough time cycling and especially running. We want to keep all the tension out of that hip flexor. So be real with yourself. Is this something you have to focus on even more? Because there's still a little tension as you yank the pedal up. Release the foot and truly float that knee up. Hold the heels under, float the knees up. Keep the tension out of that joint. A lot of times we just get caught in our own cycle of what we know. That's why we're constantly harping on you how to do it right. Maybe the first 10,000 times I said it didn't ring a bell. The 10,001th time, that's what truly makes a difference. Good. Let's bring it back to the game last night, right? So no matter what you coach, you're always a coach, right? So I'm sitting there watching the game. And every goal the Kings scored, I'm going to bring this back to triathlon, so stick with me here, guys. Every goal the Kings scored, they had, you could barely see the puck get in the net because they had so many guys screening. We call it screening the goalie, getting in his way so he can't react to the puck coming. My coach would always say, get your ass in his face, right? He can't react. He has no vision of what's going on in the play because he has full-size humans blocking his sight. Every goal the Kings scored, there's 2 or 3 guys in front of the goalie blocking his view. Bring it on to the other team, the Sabres, the younger team. Every time they shot the puck at the net, their players parted like the Red Sea, right? They didn't get their ass in the goalie's face. So we had a clear sight line as to where the puck was going. Every time. Then they scored 2 goals in the third period, both of them. Ass in the goalie's face, screening the goalie. I guarantee, I know as a fact. All right, 10 seconds, go to 80%, bring the cadence into the 80s again. Hold the heel under, float the foot up. 3, 2, 1. 5 minutes, come on, 80%, let's go, guys. Hold the heel under, float the foot up. Left foot, right foot. I know as a fact from having plenty of coaches in my ice hockey days that the coaches were saying, get in front of the goalie, block his view. Yet every time the puck was shot, they just parted. They, I don't want to get hit. I'm going to let this Kings player just push me out of the way so the goalie could see it. They weren't standing their ground. Coach said, get in front of the goalie. He's kept saying it. Screen the goalie, screen the goalie, screen the goalie. Finally, he must have said something that clicked because they actually started doing it. It's no different here. We repeat the same things, mantras. What's going to get you across the finish line the fastest? Swimming, biking, running. Thinking of different ways to say it. Repeating it, building it into you. So every time that puck gets shot at the net, you have no choice but to stand right in front of it. And so it hits you in the grill and you lose a couple chiclets. Oh, well. If it leads to 1 goal, it's worth it. Hold the heels under, float the knees up. Is that truly released, that hip flexor? Or are you parting the Red Sea when the puck is shot at the net? You might be listening, but are you hearing? I came up with that one a couple years ago too. Back to your left foot. Pull the heel under. Only thing I've gotten from my wife is, may the force be with you. That's all she says. I'm expecting a baby Yoda Valentine's Day card. Float your left foot. Pull the heel under. Float the foot up. 40 pedal strokes on your left side. Really dial in, guys. 2, 1, go. Over to the right side, pull the heel under, float the foot up, release the hip flexor. 40 pedal strokes on the right. Let's go. Good. So you're light on your feet, pulling under, floating up. Let's bring the cadence into the 90s. Come on. Come on, guys. Release your lower leg, relax your ankle, wiggle your toes. Everyone should be in the 90s. Could be a 99, you could be a 91. But you got to keep pulling the heel under, floating the foot up. Left foot, right foot. Big deep breaths. 90% coming up. Slow your feet back into the 70s. 65 to 75. 3, 2, 1. Give you a little room here over the course of the first minute. Then we're going to bring it down into the 60s, 65 to 70 as we progress into this 90% effort. So slowly slow your feet. Back to really feeling those glutes. Knees are straight up and down. Look at your left knee. Look at your right knee. Drop the heel, pull it under, float the foot up. So your cadence should be slowed. 65 to 70 range. Good stability on the saddle. The more you move around, more energy you're displacing away from that bottom bracket. And the more susceptible you are to saddle sores and undercarriage chafing. more you move around, it's like just rubbing a wet washcloth on those fragile bits. Do that 70 times a minute for an hour. Try it. Tonight, I want you to get a wet washcloth and rub your taint 70 times a minute for an hour and see how you feel afterwards. No pictures. I don't need any photos of it. But that's comparable to you moving around in the saddle a ton. Not finding that point of stabilization and planting on it as you pedal. Here we go, 10 seconds. Let's start driving your knees. Cadence 80 to 90, threshold effort. 2, 1, let's go. Slowly build that cadence up. Like Craig Anderson in his 23rd year of playing goalie. Persevere, knowing, hey, I might not get to 90 or 80 to 90 RPM right now. But if I stick with it, drive the knees, relax the lower leg, pull the heel under, float the foot up, float the foot forward, bam, drop the heel. You'll get to 90, 80 to 90. Big deep breaths, relax the upper body. Good, keep driving, guys. 80 to 90 range. Don't let compensation creep in. Keep the stress out of the hips. Keep the calf relaxed. Upper body, tension free. Last minute in the 110. Cadence 90 plus. 3, 2, 1. Come on. Sprint, guys. Let's go. Take it 15 seconds at a time. Perfect technique within those 15 seconds. Just like you did on race day. You ride checkpoint to checkpoint. Our checkpoint today is 15 seconds. Checkpoint on race day might have been every 5K. Three, 2, 1, spin it out. 2 minutes. Keep your legs moving. All right, pinch the groin inch. Remember, you gotta be realistic. with where you're at right now. If you take this out and you know it's not happening at the prescribed effort, I need you to get through the 10 minutes. So you hit the down arrow. But you know the difference by now between it's going to hurt, but I can make it, and it's going to hurt, I don't have the juice. You know the difference. I know on days where it's just not happening for me, it's more important to hit the down arrow, finish the workout, than it is to just give up. Because the more you give up in training, the easier it is to give up on race day. So here we go. We're going to take it out at 90%. Every minute, we're going to build 5% for 5 minutes. Then we're going to stay on the pedals and finish off the last 5 minutes at tempo. Backing down to 85%. Here we go. 90%. Cadence low. 2, 1. We take it 1 minute at a time. Cadence 60 to 70. Just ride 1 minute to the next. Don't think about what's on tap. Just think about that complete pedal stroke, floating the foot forward, bam, dropping the heel, pulling the heel under, floating the foot up. Building resiliency, physical resiliency, mental resiliency. Think about the left foot. For 40 pedal strokes, float the foot through the top, drop the heel, pull the heel under, float the foot up. Cadence low, count it out for 40 on your left side. 2, 1, let's go. Good, move over to the right side. Float the foot through the top, drop the heel, pull the heel under, float the foot up. 40 pedal strokes on the right side. Cadence in the 60s. 2, 1, let's go. Good. Drop your shoulders. Soften your elbows. Wiggle your fingers. Keep the wrists relaxed, as tension-free as possible. Should drive your knees. Bring your cadence into the 75 to 80 range. 3, 2, 1. Little higher cadence, guys. Doesn't mean you put tension in the hips. Still floating the feet up. Floating the foot forward. Driving the heel down. Pulling the heel under. Bounce back and forth. Left side, right side. Drive your knees with a little more speed, a little more momentum. 3, 2, cadence in the 80s. Let's go. 15 seconds at a time. Let's ride 15 to 15. Think about that smooth, complete pedal stroke. Within each 15. Come on. On to the next 15. Last 15. We're coming out of this 85%. Slow your feet. 2, 1, slow your feet. Come on. Stay on the pedals. Come on. Breathe. Cadence 60 to 70. Feel that lactate flush. Feel that burn dissipate as you pedal through it. Mental resiliency. You know you're not going to crap out. Sturdy in the saddle. No bouncing, swing. What I love to see this weekend was the risk a lot of us took riding, not knowing what would happen on the run, but taking a risk knowing it was a dress rehearsal, not limiting ourselves, saying, I have to run afterwards. I can't go that hard. Taking a little bit of a risk, seeing what you're capable of, and then running strong off the bike, having a solid run. Exactly. George said he didn't think about the run. He got after it, left it on the line. Not saying that's how we're going to race on real race day. But I think a lot of us are so timid as to how we're going to feel when we start running that we sell ourselves a little short on the bike, which is all situation by situation basis. But I love seeing you guys get a little nasty and then see that nastiness doesn't cause a detriment. I know when I get on the bike and I'm at the upper end of my range, that's when I have the best runs. I'm sharp. And you guys saw that. And that's because of the work you do here. You have so much fitness that you can push a little higher effort than you're used to and get off the bike feeling as if, what bike? I have a standalone half marathon. Without the occasional risk, there's no reward. Just made that up. Emily, write that down. Without risk, there's no reward. All right, cadence is still low, guys. Every 20 seconds in this last minute, we're going to bring the cadence up slightly. Keep it here for 20. All right, start driving your knees, a little more momentum. Bring your cadence into the 80s. Come on. Drive your knees. I'm standing on the side of the course, and I see you running or riding by. One of the first things I'm going to say is drive your knees. Come on, drive your knees. Last 20, drive your knees. Bring your cadence up. Come on. Fastest maintainable foot speed without bouncing. Come on. Three, 2, 1, and spin it out. Amazing, guys. That's resiliency in action. Physical, mental, emotional. All right. So you got a couple minute cool down here. Stay on as long as you need to. Many of my athletes, many of our athletes don't have runs because we ran hard and worked hard on the weekend. So I'm going to take a little extra reprieve from running until tomorrow for a lot of us. But get off, get recovered, get your fuel in right off the bike. We have our 2 p.m. call. Got a lot of stuff happening on a 2 p.m. call. So got endurance sport nutrition expert Scott Tyndall coming on. Might have a giveaway. We might have a giveaway. You must be present to win. Kathleen might be coming on. We obviously have Coach Jack and Kristen's mobility lab. Polanski talking cycling, Blue talking running. Got a lot of good stuff at 2 p.m. If you can't join live, I'll be recording up by 3:15, 3:30 at Inner Training Peaks. But awesome work, guys. That's what I'm talking about. Resiliency, perseverance. Maybe you didn't have the race or the feel you wanted this last weekend. Just a blip on the radar. It's an experience to use as a springboard to learn from and build off of. So proud of you guys. Thank you for your commitment. Thank you for your effort. Your focus on the process and sticking with it through the thick and thin. I'll see you guys at 2 p.m. Love you. Bye.